This is the Cherry Pick channel. Python tutorial videos. In Python, there is another type, none or nothing. This is not zero, since zero is also a value. None is such a stub, a special state of a variable, which means that there is nothing in the variable. If I use an uninitialized variable, Python will give me an error and break the code. In practice, we will have situations where there is nothing in the variable, but we need the code to continue working. We can access variables that don't have anything in them without causing an error. Let's look at an example that can happen in real practice. I will use pseudocode, since we don't really have a database object. At this point, you need to understand the concept of why none is needed. We have created a connection object that contains the result of connecting to the database. Calling the connect function should return the database connection object to us. The connection will get either the result of a successful connection or none. Next, we check whether connection is equal to none or not. As you remember from previous lessons, the result of such a check will be the Boolean type true or false. If everything is fine and we really join the database, then check connection will be false and we write a script for a successful connection. If the result is true, that is, connection got the value none, then we need to write a script for a failed connection. We will not have a program crash. We will be able to handle the failed connection. Checking whether a variable contains none is possible through the comparison operators that we discussed in the last lesson. This is a double equal, and the sign is not equal. Then we would write like this: if connection is equal to none, and not equal to none. Then instead of pass, you would write your own code that will handle each of the scenarios. And as you can see, PyCom highlights a non-critical error when using the equal sign. But it is more correct to check none through the is and is not operators. Then our report will look like this. In this lesson, I will not explain in detail why the second method is preferable, since this information from a more advanced course will not be clear to you now. And although your code will work when using the equal sign, let's learn to write code correctly, especially since there are cases when using the equal sign can lead to incorrect code execution. In reality, none is used quite often and you will see this type many more times in our course. For example, if the function returned nothing, then its result will be none. In the next lecture, I will tell you about the creation of functions and their purpose, since in our examples we already refer to them quite often. And already in this tutorial, I will show you an example when the function returns none.